Hey gang, so here we are in the kitchen. Like we were talking about earlier today on the TU call about asking a coach, I had mentioned my recipe for protein waffles, which everyone seemed very excited about. And I'm happy to share that with you right here. You don't need anything fancy. You don't need a fancy gourmet kitchen, as you can tell. I've just got a regular old kitchen here. You will need a couple things though, nothing too out of the ordinary. You know, we start with a regular garden variety food scale. This was like $10, $12 on Amazon. It was no big deal. The recipe is easy. It's only 5 ingredients. I use liquid egg whites because I hate eggs, which is what prompted me to do this in the first place, because it's really hard for me to get protein in the morning since there's something about eggs that just gross me out. I can't do them. A little bit of baking powder, your favorite protein powder, doesn't matter what brand, doesn't matter what flavor. We'll get to that in a second. Non-fat Greek yogurt, and believe it or not, cake mix. I know, that sounds weird. So let's get a little mixing bowl set up and get started with this. Okay, so we're starting out, just put our mixing bowl on the food scale. And quite literally, the hardest part of this whole thing is placing the bowl in such a way so you can still read the scale. I know that sounds funny, but real world problems, gang. So we're gonna start with our liquid egg whites right into the bowl. We're shooting for about 100 grams of egg white. If you go over or under by a gram or two, it's really not the end of the world. You know, it's not going to affect the macros that much. So that's 100 grams. The next thing we want is 170, that's 170, of the non-fat Greek yogurt. And try not to make a big splashy mess with that. You got to do a little bit of math unless you clear your display. So whichever way you like to go is fine. So at this point, I did not clear this display. So I'm looking for 270 total. So that's 260, and another little scoopy doop. There we go. Close enough for government work, 272. The next thing we do, protein powder. So your macros for this recipe will change a little bit depending which protein powder you use, because they're all a little bit different. I use a whey protein, but you can use any kind of protein you like. The flavoring does not matter. You can use vanilla, you can use chocolate, you can use Fruity Pebbles, you know, whatever kind of flavors you can find that you like are fine. When you combine this with cake mix, obviously you want combinations that work together. So we're going to put 1 scoop of protein powder. And for this protein, that's about 30 grams. Next thing we want to add is a little bit of baking powder. It's only 3 grams, just kind of helps to keep it light and fluffy so that they don't get too dense. So we're going to add that in there, and we're good to go. So right now I'm using a yellow cake mix with my protein. My favorite combination would be chocolate protein powder and red velvet cake mix. That is to die for. But we're just basically working with whatever cake mix I had handy. So we're going to add 43 grams of cake mix. So I've not changed my scale. So I've just got to do a little bit of math here. So 359, call it 360. Just get that in there. Perfect. That's it. Those are our 5 ingredients. All we got to do is mix it up with a whisk. You know, I never expected in my wildest dreams to be making a food video on the internet, but you know what? It's a whisk I'm willing to take. So, here we go. Let's get this. Yeah, my wife is going wah, wah, wah in the background because she's so tired of my dad jokes. But, hey, that's me, right? The things you do for love. All right, so now we've got this mixed up. Let's get our waffle iron going. Okay, so the waffle iron is all heated up. we're just going to add a little non-stick cooking spray. I like butter flavor for this, personally. And carefully pour it in without making a mess. That's always the tough part. I recommend the spill plate for that. And here we go. That should be good. This will give you, depending on the size of your waffle iron, 2 to 3 waffles of the big round ones. If you have a small square jobber, it might give you a little bit more. Oh, thank goodness. It smells so good in here, I was almost not able to wait long enough. So let's flip this puppy over and see what we got. Yeah, oh, it's stuck a little bit here. There we go. All right. So nice and fluffy. Okay, so that's it. Real super easy to do. For that recipe, as everything was measured out, you've got 430 calories. You've got 52 grams of protein. Now that might go up or down a gram or two, depending what protein powder you used. Again, you could use any brand, any flavor. I prefer whey protein, but if you wanted to do something else, you could. There's 6 grams of fat, and that's it. I like these things dry, but you could put fat-free whipped cream on them or sugar-free syrup, maybe a scoop of Ninja Creamy, on top, so you can do that waffles and ice cream kind of vibe. Whatever your flavor is that you want to go with. We'll see you guys online. Bang!